So today we're going to talk about PRX because as far as I can tell, for the first time since 2021 of August, when Jing joined PRX, they played with a different lineup where something, their new player, came in and replaced Benkai on Pearl. Now this was only for the one map. You can see that something played just here in this map, but on Fracture, Benkai was back in. So it looks like PRX might be going for some kind of 6-man rotating roster. Let's start off actually with a bit of a bad round by PRX. PRX destroyed this game, but this was a bad round, as you will see. It starts off perfectly fine. They come and take the same main control with the Sky Flash there, the Phoenix Flash, and they come and get the Orb control. They push back T1, these early players, as they tried to, try and do their own flash with this Harbor Wall. And so T1 have to actually pop their Viper Spit here on A. And so PRX decide, okay, well, we aren't going to deal with that. They actually block off their own dog. As Forsaken wants the ult orb. He seems to be laughing about that a bit, but they do kind of waste their own Skydog. And then they decide to, group up and kind of come back towards B. Now, they came towards this B site a lot in this game. In fact, 10 out of 12 rounds ended on this B site, and they just kept hitting B over and over and over again. And T1 didn't have a single answer in the world, apart from this round, apparently. Because what's going to happen here, as they just send a flash down here, Saya does get hit by that flash, but you can see just here, he's on top of the box, and in a second, he's about to go and kill something. He puts down a jet smoke there, but it's a nice shot by Saya. He managed to get the first kill, and from here, craziness is going to ensue. The first thing we probably need to talk about is that, yes, PRX did destroy this game. Forsaken is playing Killjoy, if you were wondering, what's going on with the roles. So, a bit of a weird pick for him, but overall he made it work decently well, although we didn't see much of the defensive side. And so, yeah, it worked decently well. But this round, I have no idea what he's doing, because he decides to come and put this Killjoy lock down here, which is kind of bizarre. And it becomes even more bizarre in just a second, right? Let's explain why this Killjoy lockdown, apart from it being in a very odd location, right? You'd think, okay, that's going to allow him to come down there. But it's also going to have a secondary effect, of course, of pushing anyone in here towards the B site, where PRX want to go. So he's kind of pushing T1 in, like this harbor gets pushed into the site. And Forsaken never actually comes and breaks this turret, so he doesn't even, like, the one bit of the map he's threatening to take control of, they know he doesn't have control of, because this Killjoy can see, and the turret is still up as well. So basically all this Killjoy lockdown does is push more players into the bulk of where PRX want to go. They then go for this Astra ult, but then they seem pretty unsure about what they want to do, and so they don't feel super confident. Forsaken actually ends up just coming back to them on B long. And so they wait. They kind of wait so long that this Astral is about to fall. And then as they begin to come for this exec, you see them just kind of waiting around here as this Astral is about to fall in a second. And T1 do end up, for the first time, kind of having a successful B hold as the time starts to dwindle down as well. Mindfreak does give it a good go, but there just isn't enough time here. And so, yeah, the round is lost here for PRX. And, yeah, they still had clearly some problems, as you could see, but as we're about to get into in just a second, it didn't really matter. And now let's come to the very next round, and this round is kind of a good example, I think, for the entire game, where T1 are going to play a bit scared on the whole, and could have punished PRX very easily for this round, but they do get a bit of a punish, but, it's not enough in the end, as PRX managed to get away with it. Because straight away, what's going to happen, if we just roll this forward a bit, you'll see that all of PRX come to mid, right? And if we pause just here, straight away there's a problem, right? There's a massive, massive problem. Why is this turret here helping you out in mid if all 5 players are going to be here? You don't need the turret's help if all 5 players are going to be there, right? You don't. But you don't have anything watching the flank B. You don't have anything watching the flank A. Maybe this is a bit of, Forsaken not having played a ton of Killjoy, not really, used to having to do these setups and whatnot. Very possible that that is the case. But yeah, I mean, you can see the mistake that they make here. And then as they, come towards mid and they're going to dog through art, that means that, they lose kind of their main re-clearing tool as well, obviously with the dog. And so that ends up, kind of being they just have to go to mid, essentially. They don't really have time to go back to either of the mains because it's going to be really difficult to re-clear everything, and they don't know. Luckily for them, T1 are just sitting back and not trying to, you know, get aggressive or anything. I mean, super passive across the board, and PRX, you know, slowly, gradually walk their way up towards Art and start to come down. But Saya's going to hit a nice shot here and manage to get the first kill again, and Devi falls just there. But they've destroyed the turret here, and Forsaken is going to walk down there. And you see straight away some of these problems where Jing thinks about coming back to B main, but he's like, wait a minute, I don't know if anyone's here whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. And so he has to just, you know, basically walk back with the team instead. It's just like a quick check to see if anyone is super flanking on them. But for whatever reason, even though, you know, T1 have completely given up all of mid, they decide to leave this. And the only reason why I can think that they might have done this is because they were so worried about B, because PRX just kept exploiting the fact that they could not defend that site, that this guy just thought, I have to get to B because otherwise we're just going to lose the site and we're going to lose the round. That's pretty much the only reason I can think of, and that ends up, you know, punishing them as PRX get seen by the Sky's dog in a second. But Forsaken, you see, is set up here and is going to get this free kill on the Killjoy right there. And so now with this space open up, this is a nice little call by PRX. They come back towards the A site, and, you know, they have like a free reign there now. And you see that Saya is now worried about behind him also, right? He's in a bit of a tricky spot right now. Doesn't know where Forsaken might be. And so in they come. You see that something has to then kind of on his own sort of re-clear this, you know, just hopping about. But they do manage to get the spike down. We end up in a 4v4. But thankfully for T1, they have managed to push this harbor, you know, actually up B main this time. And he's coming on a big flank. And, well, something has no idea. He thinks it's all good and it's all clear. But it is not. And Mindfreak kind of ends up just completely isolated on the site here. I do think, you know, he probably should be using the smoke that he's put up, you know, to get out and you know, to come and play with something, because he's all on the site alone, and, you know, that's not a good spot to be in, really, because as soon as the smoke drops, yeah, there's 3 people looking at you. That's pretty much what's going to happen. And then because there's 3 people looking at him, now something, you know, is focusing on that instead, and so that's a free one as well. It would have been a 4v2 and they smoked them off. I mean, you'd think that this would be pretty much impossible to win here for PRX, but actually somehow no. They tap the spike, they destroy the cove. Forsaken lines up 2 there. He gets the trade here on intro, and then the 1v1 he manages to get his ace and win the round. And so this was like a good example of what was going on in this game. PRX maybe not playing, like, you know, theoretically perfectly or whatever, but they were just getting away with it anyway because T1 would make mistakes or they'd be scared, and PRX would win the round. And then there was just the pure, bizarre, crazy rounds like this one, round number 8, where PRX are going to do what they did for a lot of this game, just group up and come towards B. A lot of the rounds that I'm not showing you were this, right? Either 4-1 or 5-0 hits like this one. This time they're going to put the Killjoy lock down in a normal spot, and that's going to push T1 back off this B site. And then you're going to see, you know, perhaps the reason why you play something, because in this game, you know, you've got Jing, Forsaken, and something, and maybe if you have the 3 most cracked players in the server, you know, that's going to give you a good chance to win. Maybe that's what PRX is thinking is. I mean, he's just blindly going in on his own there. I mean, it's kind of crazy. He manages to get that kill very easily. There could have been, you know, 3 people there, and he just dies. But, you know, he does get the kill, and then we get, you know, an insane kill there. And then this one is even more insane. It kind of just gets more bizarre as they go on, and this round is over before you know it. And, yeah, something just absolutely pops off, and they managed to win the round. And, yeah, T1 had no answer for this B site. Obviously, that was just a bit of a highlight reel play, but honestly, this is what a lot of this game looked like. And then let's finish with round number 12, where T1 were looking for any answer they could to defending this B site. So you see in this last round that they've got basically a 4 stack here towards B, anything to try and defend the site, and they're just leaving the Killjoy all alone on A. But not only does that happen, Munchkin here on Killjoy is so confident that PRX are going to go towards B that he solo walks up as a Killjoy and just, you know, swings this corner on his own. And he ends up looking like an idiot, of course, but genuinely, if you watch this whole attacking half, I can almost understand it, because PRX just kept going B, and T1 didn't have a single answer for it. So, and they'd never, well, they did do this a couple times, but, you know, it just seemed like, well, they're going B because we can't defend B. It was like both teams just knew, yeah, we can't defend B. Yeah, you're going B. Yeah, we're gonna lose. Like, that's what kind of this game just felt like. And, well, PRX get that first kill for free. They put the Killjoy lockdown in, and they come and clear it all out. And, yeah, they're going to get the spike down here. Now, Divide does end up trapped kind of on the site. Jing dies there, and Divide gets stunned by the dog. So he gets hit by the dog, and he just catch a bit of that spam just there as well. Kind of lucky to survive. He does really well here to flash and move position to make sure that he isn't just a free kill. That flash there, and then he's going to just reposition out here. Does really well. Now, whilst that's going on, Forsaken has found one. He's about to find a second just through this harbor wall as well. And then he's actually going to just win them the round. But yeah, I really like Divide's little reposition here. And you'll see Forsaken manages to get one. Divide does get one as well. He gets traded, but now Forsaken is coming out. Unfortunately, we won't see this last kill as he was just kind of going crazy here. He's 18 and 6. This would be for 19. And yeah, this was just good, right? This was just good from PRX. I mean, just punishing T1 over and over again as they win this round. And so for PRX, I mean, they won both maps. They won with Benkai. They won with something. And it looked better. They still had problems, as I've kind of shown you, and against better teams who know how to defend a map, even though this was T1's map pick somehow, and they looked completely lost. You know, against better teams, maybe they will get punished for some of the things that they were doing, but at the same time, when you add something to Jing and Forsaken, you only need one of them to take off and, you know, own the game, and that's very possible that that might happen at any point, so I think that they will win a lot of games by just having more firepower when they use this lineup than their opponents.